But I guess, okay, in 6th grade I fell in love with gymnastics, and I just started taking gymnastics from the YMCA. And of course when I did gymnastics I loved it so much, so I'd practice like, I mean I only had class like twice a week, but I would practice like all my free time, you know, trying to do back bends and all this stuff. And so I ended up finally getting thin. And then I remember my friend Jaquetta Didell in 6th grade, she told me about straight perms, because the only reason why I kept getting perms is because it'd grow out and I didn't know any better, so I'd just get another perm so it wouldn't be like frizzy and straight. But she said that you can get your hair permed straight. So I finally got the perm out of my hair. Now I don't have any perm, obviously. I just had to get the straight perm to get the perm out. So then finally my hair wasn't big and my body was getting smaller. And then I started to pay attention to stuff that I was wearing. Like I was like, I begged my mom to take me to Dillard's and get me some Guess jeans. And so I got a pair of red and white striped Guess jean shorts, and then some, of course, like a regular blue jean colored. And so people started to be nice to me, and I don't think I changed, because I've been in a dork all my life. I wasn't all of a sudden confident. I didn't really notice I was getting smaller. I just knew that I loved gymnastics. And I actually remember sitting on the floor in the 6th grade classroom, and one of the popular girls said hi to me. And I remember thinking, like, why is she saying hi to me? Like, what's different, you know? And so in trying to think of how to explain stuff, it's making me realize that shallow people, they don't know they're shallow. I mean, if they knew they were shallow, I don't think they'd be shallow, because if you had that information, unless you had a really cold heart, I don't think that you would keep on thinking that way. Because if you think about it, the popular kids that grew up in school, if they were always popular, how would they know, like, what getting made fun of felt like, or how would they really know? I mean, because I know what's shallow, because, like, I knew I was a good person, and I knew that people didn't like me because of my clothes. I mean, I knew that. And then, you know, I got to see that when I started to, like, get good looking, then people started to be nice to me. And so for me, I mean, it was a really awesome life lesson. And I think that I'm lucky to be, I know this sounds funny, but I feel so lucky that I got to be, like, such a loser growing up. Because then I get to have, like, a soft heart, and what if I grew up, like, really popular? I wouldn't have an opportunity to know how other people feel, and that would just be sad. So I'm kind of sad for people who've always been popular, because they're ignorant. They don't know, like, they don't know they're shallow. That would be so scary. What if I, like, only loved people for their outward stuff, and I didn't even know that I did that? I mean, that would be, like, that would be terrible. And the cool thing about being a dork is you're friends with other dorks. I go like this because dork is a compliment to people. My dad is a dork, and my husband's a dork, and my brother's a dork. But it's like a compliment now that we're older. Oh, my brain. I'm on, like, pseudoephedrine and just all this stuff. I just totally have a medicine head. And I think I had too much caffeine this morning, so I'm just kind of, like, scattered. But, what was I going to say? Oh, but your friends are really your friends. Like, my friends in grade school, like, I look back and I know that they truly were my friends. And the friends that I got later, when I got pretty, you know, like, totally, I don't know. Anyone watching that's my friend now, don't get offended. I'm not thinking about anyone in particular. But, so, anyways, but my friend Randy, hi Randy, she's still my friend. We only don't see each other because she, oh, I had to stop recording and start over because I said where my friend lived. Whoops. Anyways, in 4th grade I met my friend Randy, and we are still friends now. And the only reason why we don't hang out is just because of distance, and of course having kids, and life is just hard. Excuse me. So but yeah, I just remember she was my sexy friend. So I remember in sixth grade, she would always have little boyfriends, and I'd always watch her and her boyfriend make out in the corner of the garage. But it didn't bother me at all. I just thought, yay for her, and it gave me something to do. Because it's like watching TV or soap or something. But then finally, the smaller that I got, shallow enough, guys started noticing me. And at 12, I didn't really, I wasn't boy crazy yet. So my friend and Randy and I actually made a pact to never have sex until we're married, which I was brought up that way anyways. And my parents waited, and we were so brainwashed to be brought up that way that I just knew that I wasn't going to have sex before I was married. And so that was an easy promise for me to make. But then when I was 13 and I did get boy crazy, I of course just totally I just ended up finding someone way older. He was 17, I was 13, and I just totally fell for him. He just was, he had those eyes that just made you want to melt, and just really made me laugh and made me feel good about myself and stuff like that. And of course my parents didn't want me to see a 17-year-old, and they weren't the type that tried to keep me away from him. I mean, it's hard as a parent. What do? So they wouldn't let me see him alone. Of course, if I ever wanted to be around him, I had to, we hung out with my dad. And so, but I would go sneak out in the middle of the night to go be with him and stuff. And, of course, I still never, ever, ever thought I was going to ever have sex. And, one night, I can't even tell you what happened. I don't even know what happened. I mean, I wasn't even... Somehow we just started to, and it was almost like in my mind I was like, what are we doing? What is this really happening? I wasn't even participating. It was strange. So it's almost like I didn't even make the decision, but then I thought I did. So I cried all the way home, and it took me an hour or so to walk there, an hour or so to walk back. And I was just devastated. That marked the beginning of the darkness. And because I was I was gonna wait till I was married. What happened? What just happened? And I look back, and I really, of course, 13-year-old girls were really stupid and naive, and vibe-wise or whatever, to a male, to someone who, I mean, I could have been saying with my body and my vibe, yes. So I'm not saying, oh my goodness, who knows, but in my mind, in my heart, I wasn't gonna have sex until I was married. So I'm still if I could look back at that night, did I I don't know what I'm trying to say, but anyways, so I went into a dark depression because I just felt like I gave up my virginity, and my life was just over, because that was just something I really wanted to hold on to. So I got into alcohol, and